And we are back. Going into the steam room. Fetch the weapon. Or fetch the blob. Because it... Let me just write that down as well since we're doing this. Or I'm doing this. Because the blob might not be a weapon. Let me try to place these guys. So, if they had a meeting, because I need to check who was having the meeting. Like, I would be such a bad detective because I can't remember who anybody fucking is. And I don't want to look at that because that is full of spoilers. So we are Bentcliffe. Is the dead archaeologist, so that makes sense in a way where he is, or he was killed by some competing or disgruntled archaeologist. I can't remember the word, or I can't find the word that I was actually looking for, but injured other archaeologist. That's not the word, there's a better word for it. So Gregory Pitkin, the manager of the bath, a lad from the city council, Garrow, and an archaeologist by the name of Blinkhorn. Blinkhorn and Bentcliffe. Damn, these fucking names, man, they're crazy. Alright, let's get the get that out of here. I'm just looking if there's anything else here, but not really.
I should analyze this melted metal.
So I would imagine it's tin. But it is sort of creating a situation where I think where someone on the outside is trying to frame anyone in here. And it could be that that's not the case, but it's seeming it's possible, really, because there's so many holes in this area that I thought was sort of concealed, or not concealed, but confined. So I think we're going to going home, but let's see.
All these events are bad for the baths.
So we are going to go to Baker Street and analyze certain things, and I would imagine after we're done, those fine gentlemen in the steam room can come out and get dressed. We can actually get to asking them about what happened. And I also think that it's nicer to know as much beforehand as possible. I think I've mentioned that before too, so that we can then ask the right questions, really. So let's start with the dirt in the finger. Wait a minute, I'll write this down as well, because if his hands were dirty in like a steam bath, well, it's a steam room, but it would it would sort of, because he is an archaeologist and he's actually on site, so that would make sense that he is sort of digging around. But we'll figure it out, hopefully.
selenite, pyrite, otherwise known as fool's gold, white clay particles. Interesting. According to the color and its composition, I deduce that this sample is white clay. Now, I need to find which area near London this sample belongs to.
White London clay.
The sample of dirt belongs to the White London clay region, located near the city of St. Albans.
Okay. St. Albans. I don't know London that well, so I don't know where that is really, and I don't know where the baths are, so I think we're going to get some help
Let us analyze
about
this
that.
blood sample. This blood has not coagulated well. It seems very liquid. That is strange. Let us see what is inside it. Hydrogen peroxide will bring any foreign matter to the surface. I must take a pipette and place several... water. This blood is heavily diluted with water.
Steam room, steam baths.
This is a piece of metal taken from a brazier. It appears to be silver, but I need to be sure. If it is silver, it will be possible to melt it, since silver's melting point is at around 900 degrees Celsius. Let us compare this sample with a silver penny by testing it with acid. If it changes color to match the result of a reaction with a silver coin, then it is silver. I must take a...
Oh yeah, don't be dead in an instant. Licking acid.
The reaction is the same red stain. It is silver, Britannia silver quality.
Okay, so it's silver, not tin, and Britannia silver. I have no idea what that is, but it's probably how it was made or something. How sort of pure it is or something like that. And it could be ceremonial something from some site.
My analysis table. It is useful for my...
What did he say that I was searching for? Oh, no, don't exit. Wait. Oh, right, so I can't sort of go back. I just clicked it really fast. You're looking for... Well, that's probably not...
That is not the one I need.
So... Let's see, 1893 was... the site at the Egypt archaeology thing. The great excavation in Assuan has taken over 3 years. Sir Rodney Bentcliffe directed the archaeological work. A mummy was found with an enucleated eye and posed in an unusual position. The right hand was tensed as if reaching out for something or to someone. The mummy was buried upright. She has been named the Desperate Mummy due to her very peculiar characteristics. Nearby could be read in Latin, "By the eye he was punished, for he saw what he was not worthy." The mummy is believed to be Roman rather than Egyptian, as some symbols found in the tomb are in common with the Mithraic mysteries. Right. So, put one and one together. It's someone, could be someone from the,
Here it is.
By the eye he was punished, for he saw that he was not worthy. Dreadful.
so sort of our motive is being given to us through sort of obvious, sort of obvious, obvious things in a way where they're obvious because we're researching it, but not obvious to just, your common police officer or something. So I would imagine that we are looking for a disgruntled archaeology colleague or something, or someone who might have, maybe this archaeologist guy, he did some things, he went, sort of broke the vase to see what's inside it or something, and then somebody's angry. But again, total conjecture, guesswork.
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
Please wait. I need to do something first.
Okay, so I want to see two things. I want to see the blood with water, heavily diluted with water. The only place where I can think, or I can see water, is of course the steam, and then the champagne bottle, the ice there. Then I wanted to see what they look like in the steam from a sort of distance. They're all the same height, basically. Two guys with a beard, one guy clean shaven. And then I want to have I'll have a look at this first. Yeah, there we go. There's some blood there too.
Blood traces wiped on the towel.
It's horrible. So Rodney is...
With the steam on, I'm unable to see even a few feet away.
So I guess it also had to, well, the fire is there, but someone had to know about this place too, because, or know about how everything is here because of the silver thrown in there and everything. Not sure how they found who they were gonna kill. Here. Because you can sort of tell the outline of a person. but not really accurately. And let me just see if I'm here. If I'm here, I can't see anyone who is in this, on the other side. And over here I can't see anyone. Here I can start seeing them. Alright, so I'm not sure if there's anything else here that I can really pay attention to, but I doubt it. I'll have a look around because this covers the whole room, I think. Oh, I guess it's just so that we can actually find the lever. Oh, and well, I know the distances, sort of. So I know that from here over to the first sort of cubicle, it's already basically too far from here for me to see it. So I guess we're done here. I hope there's nothing that I'm really missing, but I don't see it. So we're going to have to go and interrogate them and then sort of ask them where they were, what exactly happened. But I feel we've already got a sort of basic idea of what's going on.
Mr. Holmes, I should like to take the suspects to the yard. You can interrogate them there. Any objections?
None, Lestrade.
These paths are becoming sinister.
Oh, examine belongings. I was supposed to look for the ring. I forgot about that. So we're gonna go back. Oh, no, the belongings are in Scotland Yard. Damn it. And we're going back again. So the ring, then we're going to look for any sort of items arousing suspicion, but since the clothes were outside and they were locked in, there's not really any evidence that's going to speak for itself, really. We're going to have to get them to sort of tell us about it. So let's start off with Bentcliffe, because he's the victim here.
This ring was most likely the one that Sir Rodney wore. He removed it before entering the steam room. I see the join. This ring was repaired, and quite badly too, with silver.
It's really worn down.
An Egyptian symbol. It is a very old jewel.
Why on earth would they wear such a ring?
A very pertinent question.
Yeah, it's starting to seem like he was very sort of questionable in his actions. 7.
An old and rather dirty coin. A hand-drawn map.
No year on it or
Rodney
anything.
Bentcliffe's notebook. It may contain something of interest. The last pages were torn out. We must find a way of retrieving Sir Rodney's last lines. Watson, please prevent anyone from entering the room. But first, fetch me a pencil. To begin with, a few strokes of the pencil will be enough. I don't want to damage the traces.
Alright, so I'm not sure if I can fail this. Alright, so it's only the top one. Something will go down in history. This date will go down in history. Today I almost found it. This date will go down in history.
And then to gently smudge the leftover pencil marks with a handkerchief. I'm sure that Watson won't mind if I use his.
Mr. Holmes, the coroner... But what are you doing? Tampering with the evidence?
I prefer to make them talk. Today, I almost found it. This date will go down in history. Sir Rodney was about to make an outstanding discovery.
Wonderful.
I could retrieve only the final words. The rest of it is lost. Perhaps the autopsy will assist us in that matter.
I'm not sure that I can allow you to inspect the body now.
I am sure that you must, Constable.
Well...
Alright, it's age 63. The right eyeball has been pierced with the hilt of a curved-bladed knife. I think at least Egyptians used a lot of, like, very old, back in the day, like, very much back in the day, used, like, these curved bronze. They were more like swords. I can't remember what they're called. The blade cut through the orbit of the frontal bone, ripping a part of the frontal lobe and the corpus callosum, after which, completing its trajectory in its cerebellum, caused hemorrhagic lesions. All these injuries led directly to the death of the individual. At the upper lobe of the right lung, there is an old injury filled with an amount of mucus and ciliated debris that may correspond to a chronic infection by elements likely inhaled in a burial chamber, a decayed mummy, for example, or a dried and decomposing food product intended to accompany the deceased in their grave. The remainder of the body does not appear to have been damaged. So, someone doesn't want a dig site as possible. And also, I need to check whether they actually found a tomb. Did he find a tomb? Because if he didn't find a tomb, at least on record, then that means that he found something and he sort of desecrated the tomb, and someone might have gotten angry and stuff. So if there's no tomb on record, then we'll see. But I would imagine there is an Egyptian tomb of some sort. Alright, I'll go and check that before I check the other ones. Alright.
An unusual wound, inflicted by a curved knife, which resulted in instant death, as the coroner's report says.
So, I'm not sure from what these could be from. There could be so many different reasons.
The bruising is in lines. Some light bruising caused by a rope. They were caused by a rope around the waist. Sir Rodney was descending somewhere.
The coroner observed no stomach nor liver disease, if we're to accept that Sir Rodney was an occasional drinker and 63 years of age. According to the coroner, there were no cardiac problems nor lung congestion, but there were traces of fungus, possibly contracted from the Egyptian tombs.
Right. So probably he went to a lot of tombs. Let's go in order. Actually, let's go to Garros first. Because he is, I think, the solo. No, he is... I don't know what he is. He was from City Council, so he might actually... I don't know. We'll figure it out.
A phial with herbs. Do you know what it is, my dear fellow?
It's the St. John's wort flower, Holmes. It's commonly used as a drug against melancholia. However, an overdosage might lead to a rash or even hallucinations.
When Garrow found Sir Rodney dead, he wiped the blood upon himself.
Alright, so that's not much. They said that Garrow was acting weird. So... it is... it's one of those things where... can we trust him or not? But, well, we'll figure it out.
An ordinary pencil.
Sir Gregory Pitkin, manager to Mr. Blinkhorn. Dear Sir, the interests that I represent require the situation at the baths to be changed for the better. At the present time, the frigidarium excavations remain under your direction, and yet the works have not progressed. You have failed to find anything of value, and we are unable to make the frigidarium accessible to the public. The frigidarium is a valuable asset in the recreation of the Roman bath experience. I urge you to complete your work within the next 2 months. You have this remaining time to conclude your archaeological research and to find yourself another workplace. So he was actually failing. But I don't see that as being a motive, at least right now. Because, as the letter says, it's not going to bring anything. Well, yeah, I was thinking like the little bellboy said that it's not good for the baths, but I would imagine that it is actually good for the baths because it's a Roman bath, so it creates a sort of mystery thing to it, I guess.
Sir Gregory Pitkin's visiting card.
What did it say? Manager Roman Bath, Strand Lane, London. Nothing else on it.
A fountain pen with solid gold trim. An embroidered silk handkerchief.
So... Pitkin and Blinkhorn were celebrating something. When was the letter sent, does it say? No, it does not. However, they were in sort of trouble. So what we need to what we need to ask is what the champagne was for, who brought it, what they were celebrating, because if he gives like if he doesn't really say that there was anything wrong with their sort of relationship, then we know that he is at least sort of not telling us everything.
Locked.
So I'm interested in talking to Mr. Pitkin first.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, Sir Gregory. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the murder that took place this morning. Would you mind answering a few questions?
Tell me, Mr. Holmes, will I need to stay here for very much longer?
Douchey attitude. You can't see that from the face. Mouth shape. Oh, you can actually. Shit. Fine clothes, a watch, a ring with the same symbol as on the handkerchief, so it is probably their family, sort of. Yes. Can't really see anything else. What was the last one? Arrogant look.
You are the manager of the baths, is that correct?
Yes, I'm passionate about archaeology. I wanted to restore the ruins. My ambition is to open the baths to the public. Living archaeology can be a profitable business, although now I'm not so sure.
I see. When do you wish to begin using the baths?
When the archaeological researches are over, I will be free to complete the restoration. It is the usual process.
Right. So he's not really in a rush, because a couple of months here or there, and then he can. He's rich and stuff, so he doesn't really have a problem with a couple of months. He doesn't need to murder a person to get rid of him, instead of waiting for a few months. But he does. He makes profit from living archaeology, which is nice. It's a cool idea in a sense.
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney Bentcliffe?
We were not particularly close. He had an unpleasant temperament, suspicious, authoritarian, unkind. People possessed by genius may be forgiven for their nature, but not by me.
Was he obstructive?
Not at all. Everything he did led us to greater success. He helped us increase the potential of the building.
All right. So he's not really a problem. He's just a nuisance, basically, for him. Nuisance, a profitable nuisance.
How was the work progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather slowly, I would say.
So he's saying it's going slowly. And he's telling the truth, I think, because it was going slowly. The chilled champagne, I mean... Yeah, this is the first one I actually ever gotten wrong. But,
How was the work progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather slowly, I would say.
Because I feel like I'm looking for,
Sir Gregory, could you please explain this letter? You expressed the wish to call off the research work at the baths.
It was all about Blinkhorn. He was merrily digging away and taking very little care about it, ruining everything and finding nothing of any value.
But the arrival of Sir Rodney changed your mind?
Sir Rodney's work was extremely promising, and it was good for the Bath's publicity. So yes, I changed my mind.
These fucking names. But, yeah, because I assume that you had to sort of disprove what they're saying, but we were sort of just going along with him, basically, with the letter. So that's why I chose the champagne, because I was trying to be a contrarian.
Please tell me what happened this morning.
The test that we performed this morning was a success. The steam was working well. Then, of course, that awful murder.
What did you see?
The steam was too thick to see anything. But ask Garrow. He saw the body first.
Did you bring a bottle of champagne to the baths?
Absolutely not. Sir Rodney did, I think.
Had Sir Rodney exhibited any recent strange behavior?
Look, I'm not a suspicious fellow, but I think that he had professional interests elsewhere that he did not wish us to know about.
Why should you think that? Where?
I have no idea. But after all, it was not my business.
Some melted silver was found inside the steam room brazier. Do you know where it came from?
Silver? No.
Are you aware that Mr. Garrow is under a form of medication?
Garrow? No. But I never liked that parasite.
Do you believe him to be capable of murder?
Well, he did have blood on him. Does that make him a murderer?
Alright, so we didn't really get anything from him, I feel. Let's try Blinkhorn next.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I am assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
Not at all, Mr. Holmes. My name is Percival Blinkhorn.
Focused and attentive with red eyes, too. I'm reading too much into things. He has very basic clothing. His hands... I mean, I'm not sure if that's dirt or just shadow. Alright, so there are little cows there, but... beard. And I didn't notice anything obvious. Recent earthwork. Which means nothing, basically, I guess. Although, if it was, like, how recent, if it was, you know, today recent? Because he was going to a meeting, so... I think, I don't think it really means anything. Because you can't really, you know, he wears the same clothes. So if they get dirty, he's not gonna maybe be able to wash them and stuff.
What is your occupation?
I'm an archaeologist, specializing in the Roman period. I'm working on several excavation sites at present, including the baths at Strand Lane.
Can you tell me more about the baths?
Well, we're hoping to retrieve a great many interesting artifacts from the site, and to list any items of value before their eventual restoration and exhibition.
And has it been successful?
It has, thanks to Sir Rodney.
What was your relationship with Sir Rodney?
Well, I couldn't say that he was a kind man, no. But he was talented. I felt a great admiration for him, I must say.
Was it your first collaboration?
I had met Sir Rodney briefly once in Egypt, and I'd shared my researches with him. Surprisingly, my work did convince him to come here. He arrived only a couple of months ago.
Surprisingly?
Well, Sir Rodney was, God, a cold man, and so very secretive too. But I learned so much from him. I can't believe that he's dead.
Can you tell me what you saw today?
Well, we entered the steam room and we all went to sit down. The steam was particularly dense, and I didn't see anything much further after that. I just heard Mr. Garrow shouting, but we all ran for the door and bumped into each other. I was very alarmed by this point.
What did you do?
Well, the door was stuck, and with all the steam, it was quite frightening. I was barely able to see my own feet. Garrow was covered in blood.
Do you believe that Garrow killed Sir Rodney?
Oh, no. Garrow couldn't harm a fly.
Did you place the bottle of champagne in the changing room?
No, I did not.
We discovered some melted silver in the brazier. Did you put it there?
No. Silver, you say? No, I don't know how it got there.
They all seem really suspicious about the silver, but it's probably just because they don't know anything about it.
How well were your researchers progressing before Sir Rodney's arrival?
Rather well.
This letter reveals that Sir Gregory was prepared to put a stop to your work.
Yes. But since Sir Rodney's arrival, he had calmed down. He allowed us to work. I'm not sure what they agreed on.
What will happen now that Sir Rodney is dead?
Well, I haven't thought about that. But if it's needed, I will fight to defend Sir Rodney's expectations.
Can you recall any recent event that would occur to you now as being a little strange?
Well, yesterday we had a small argument.
Is that all?
No. Sir Rodney informed me that he was to attend the London Archaeological Congress with me. Then he advised me of quite the opposite. And rather aggressively, too.
Do you recognize this ring?
Certainly. It's the famous Aswan ring. Sir Rodney brought it back from his last campaign in Egypt.
And he kept it for himself?
Sir Rodney has had his own particular ideas of archaeology.
What can you tell me about Garrow?
He always looks so sad, and he has been acting strangely lately. He complains about voices and visions. I will keep an eye on him because I'm worried.
Okay. So quite a lot of nothing. I mean, there was some things, but I'm sort of I need to digest everything at some point, but we will interrogate Mr. Garrow.
Please escort this suspect for interrogation. A good day to you. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting the police with their investigation of the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe. Would you mind if I asked you a few questions?
I am Tristram Garrow.
So depressed, taking drugs, sort of unkept, sad eye bags. And there's a scar on his forehead. Looks like a scar. Dirty clothes. What's that? Superstitious, yeah. And I don't see anything else except for just the clothes being dirty. I was looking at his hand, but it didn't really show up. Is it his head? Yeah, looks troubled. What is that? What am I missing? Oh, was that it? Yeah. Perspiration. So I think he's there's no reason for him to bring like a silver dagger into the baths and then stab someone in the eye because he's seeing visions and then throw it into the fire because he knows that it's going to melt and so on.
What is your occupation?
I am a councillor at the district chamber.
And what were you doing at the baths?
Well, I follow the researches. I am interested in archaeology.
You follow them?
Yes. So many things happened and we need to know. Or perhaps it's better hidden.
I beg your pardon, Mr. Garrow.
I meant nothing by that. I apologise.
Okay. So like we can discredit magic, but we cannot discredit people who believe in magic doing things for magic in a sense. So magic exists in that way. But we'll see. Because he doesn't really seem like the guy who would plan it in a sense. But you know, I don't know shit.
What was it like to work with Sir Rodney?
It was like working with a genius. He was a hard man, but then you know this world is hard. There are always people who want to steal from you. And he trusted me, but oh.
Are you feeling unwell?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is I. I remember. Oh, I feel so sorry.
Do you need anything?
I feel bad. I hear... No, nothing. I'm better now.
So either he always hears things and then you can never tell which is which, but since the drug does cause that, then he probably takes too much of it or something.
His ring! Oh, it should be destroyed.
Why do you say that?
It is a cursed ring, digging dark secrets.
Really?
It is after me now. I know it. I shouldn't have worked on it in the workshop. It's too late now.
Right, so I also sort of briefly mentioned it, but I didn't say it out loud completely, but the person, of course, has to know that silver melts as well, I guess, so they have to sort of have some knowledge in that regard. And if he was working with silver, it just creates that either he did it or then he was, of course, framed. But we'll ask him if he's stable enough to tell us about the murder.
Please try to recall what you saw today.
The room was so hot, I had to remove my glasses. I was not feeling so very well in there.
But you found the body.
I saw the knife, you know, flying through the air. I saw the blood. I tried to escape. I don't remember.
You saw the knife? What did it look like?
Everything was as if in a nightmare. It all happened so fast. The knife was shining like gold.
Okay. So this is hinting towards the, well, it's supposed to be curved. So not the pen. Was it silver? We don't know. Flying through the room, so I think he probably meant that someone just charged at the dead man. And he can't really see that well without his glasses, but he can, you know, spot a shiny thing, I guess, but I don't know how that works. My eyesight is goddamn perfect, although it's not anymore. It used to be. Let's ask about the champagne. It's like the most neutral thing.
Did you place the bottle of champagne in the changing room?
What? No.
So, I guess the champagne is a probable point of contestation. Is that a word? Fuck, I don't know. Because the bottle was brought in by the dead guy. Probably, if we are to trust people at least on that.
We discovered some melted silver in the brazier. Did you put it there?
It didn't help. The power is too strong.
Oh. That makes sense. So he was trying to do magic, and thus the weapon is not in the room. Unless someone shoved it up their buttholes.
Had Sir Rodney exhibited any recent strange behavior?
Well, he had been rather secretive these past few days. Last Thursday, for example, I saw him leave. When he returned, it was very late. He showed me some wet coins, Roman coins, and he started to laugh.
Alright, so let's just stop here for just a moment. So he was about to, the dead guy was about to reveal that he'd found something worthwhile, but I would imagine that because coins are very transportable, so that you can just take coins from anywhere and then put them somewhere else. And if he has done, you know, one successful dig, then he can spread those goods around and he can always be successful. So let's go for the coin and go for the drugs last.
This is the coin that he showed me. It is from the 3rd century.
It must be very rare.
No, I don't know.
He wouldn't, because he's not an archaeologist. So
Thank you. Thank you. This will help me to calm down.
Do be careful with the dosage.
I will.
I mean it. Garrow appears to be rather mentally disturbed. Either that or he is a good actor.
he was perspiring and things. It's hard to sort of act that unless you intentionally take too many drugs. Alright, so I think it's time to put some things together in the neurons, but we shall do that in the next episode. Are you locked in there, Watson? And we'll figure some things out, but at least we know now that the murder weapon was apparently more gold than silver, if we can trust his words, and that's the only thing we have right now, and it was shining like gold, which would sort of hint that it is Pitkin who tried to kill him, but we really don't have a motive for him in that sense, that he would be so angered by something. He does look really sort of the kind of guy who could have killed someone and just want this shit to be over with and go home, because that's how things, I guess, usually go for him. But we shall figure all that out in the next episode. I'll see you there.